Right now, while you're watching this, something is being stolen from you. Not your money, not your possessions. Something far more valuable. Your attention, your ability to think deeply, your capacity to focus on one thing for more than 3 minutes. And the worst part? You don't even notice it's happening. You think you're just scrolling, just checking notifications, just taking a quick break. But every time you reach for your phone, every time you open that app, every time you refresh that feed, you're training yourself to be distracted. You're rewiring your brain to crave interruption. You're becoming incapable of the one thing that makes you human: deep thought. And this isn't an accident. This is by design. There are rooms full of the smartest people on the planet, psychologists, neuroscientists, behavioral economists, and their entire job is to figure out how to steal your attention and sell it to the highest bidder. Your focus is a product, and you're giving it away for free. Let me tell you about an experiment. Researchers took a group of people and gave them a simple task: read an article and answer questions about it. Half the group had their phones in another room. The other half had their phones on the desk, face down, silent. Nobody was allowed to touch their phones. Guess what happened? The group with phones on the desk performed significantly worse. Not because they used their phones. They didn't. But because part of their brain was constantly monitoring whether the phone might light up, buzz, or demand attention. Just having the phone nearby drained their cognitive capacity. Now think about your life. Your phone is always nearby, isn't it? On your desk while you work. On your nightstand while you sleep. In your pocket while you walk. In your hand while you eat. That device is stealing your attention every single moment, even when you're not using it. Because your brain knows it's there, and a part of you is always waiting for it to demand your attention. Let me tell you how they did this to you. In the early 2000s, tech companies discovered something powerful: variable rewards. It's the same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive. You pull the lever, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but you never know which it will be. That uncertainty creates a dopamine spike stronger than predictable rewards. So they built it into everything. You refresh your feed, and sometimes there's something interesting, sometimes there's nothing, but you never know. You check your notifications, and sometimes there's a message that matters, sometimes it's junk, but you never know. You scroll, and sometimes you see something that makes you laugh or rage or feel something, sometimes it's boring, but you never know. That never know is the hook. That's what keeps you coming back. 50 times a day. 100 times a day. Every spare moment of silence, every second of potential boredom, every opportunity for your mind to wander and think and create. Stolen. Replaced with a scroll. Here's what they don't tell you. Your brain wasn't designed for this. For millions of years, dopamine was released when you did something meaningful. Found food. Solved a problem. Connected with your tribe. But now you get dopamine hits for doing nothing. For watching a 10-second video. For seeing a red notification bubble. For getting a like on a photo. Your brain can't tell the difference between real accomplishment and digital candy. So it starts craving the easy stuff. Why work on a difficult project for hours when you can get a dopamine hit in 3 seconds by checking your phone? Why read a book that requires focus when you can scroll through content designed to grab your attention every 2 seconds? Why think deeply about anything when surface-level consumption feels so much easier? And slowly, over months and years, your brain changes. The neural pathways for deep focus atrophy. The ability to sit with boredom disappears. The capacity for sustained attention, the very thing that allowed humans to create art, build civilizations, solve impossible problems, erodes. And you become someone who can't think anymore. Not because you're stupid, but because your attention has been systematically stolen and sold. Think about the last time you read a book. A real book, cover to cover, without checking your phone. Can you even remember? Think about the last time you sat in silence for more than 5 minutes without reaching for a device. Think about the last time you had a long, uninterrupted thought. A thought that wandered and evolved and led somewhere you didn't expect. You can't, can you? Because that part of you is dying. The part that daydreams. The part that gets bored and then creates something to escape the boredom. The part that sits with difficult ideas until they make sense. That's what you've lost. Your ability to be alone with your thoughts. Your capacity for sustained concentration. Your patience for anything that doesn't give you instant gratification. And here's the terrifying part. You've lost it so gradually that you didn't even notice. It's like gaining weight 1 pound at a time. By the time you realize, you're a completely different person. There was a man I spoke to, 34 years old. Successful career. Smart guy. He told me something that haunted him. I can't remember anything anymore. Not because he was sick. Not because he was aging. But because he couldn't pay attention long enough to form memories. He'd watch a movie and couldn't tell you the plot the next day. He'd have conversations and forget them an hour later. He'd read articles and retain nothing. His brain was in a constant state of shallow processing, never going deep enough to encode anything meaningful. It's like I'm living but not really there, he said. I'm skimming the surface of my own life. He blamed himself, thought something was wrong with him, until he did an experiment. He deleted social media for 30 days, put his phone in a drawer and only checked it twice a day. And something incredible happened. His mind came back. Not immediately. It took weeks. But slowly, he could focus again. He could read for an hour without getting restless. He could have conversations without his mind wandering. He could remember things because he was actually present to experience them. I didn't realize how much I'd lost until I got it back, he told me. It's like I was sleepwalking through my life. And I thought that was normal. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. Deep thinking requires boredom. Creativity requires mind wandering. Problem solving requires sustained focus. And none of those things can happen when you're constantly interrupted. When you're scrolling, your brain is in reactive mode. Stimulus. Response. Stimulus. Response. There's no space for original thought. No room for synthesis or reflection. You're consuming, not creating. You're reacting, not thinking. And the more you train your brain to operate this way, the harder it becomes to do anything else. Your attention span shrinks. Your patience evaporates. Your ability to engage with complex ideas that don't resolve in 30 seconds, disappears. This is why you start books and never finish them. This is why you can't focus in meetings. This is why you feel scattered and anxious and like your brain is always somewhere else. Because it is. Your attention has been fractured into 1,000 pieces. And someone else is holding all of them. But it's free, you say. Social media is free. Videos are free. All this content is free. No, it's not. You're paying with the only non-renewable resource you have. Your time. Your attention. Your life. When a product is free, you are the product. Your attention is being harvested, packaged, and sold to advertisers. Every minute you spend scrolling is a minute of your life converted into profit for someone else. But it's worse than that. Because they're not just taking your time. They're changing who you are. Making you more impulsive, more distracted, more anxious, more dependent on external validation, less capable of independent thought. And they know exactly what they're doing. One former tech executive said it explicitly. We're programming humans the way we program computers. Let that sink in. You think you're choosing to scroll. But you're not. You've been programmed. So what do? How do you take your attention back from a system designed by the smartest people on the planet to steal it? First, you have to accept a hard truth. You can't outsmart the algorithm with willpower alone. The people who design these systems are smarter than you. They have billions of dollars and endless data. You have willpower, which is a finite resource that depletes every time you resist. So you don't fight with willpower. You fight with systems. Remove the phone from your bedroom. Buy an alarm clock. Delete social media apps. Use the browser version if you must, and only on a computer. Turn off all notifications. Every single one. Create friction between you and distraction. Make deep work the easy path and shallow consumption the hard one. And here's the most important part. Reclaim boredom. Sit without your phone for 10 minutes. It will be uncomfortable, agonizing, even. That discomfort is your brain detoxing from constant stimulation. Push through it, because on the other side of boredom is where creativity lives, where original thought happens, where you remember who you are when nobody's algorithm is telling you what to think. Listen carefully. Your attention is the last frontier of freedom. Everything else can be controlled, regulated, monitored. But your ability to choose what you think about, that's yours, unless you give it away. And right now, an entire industry exists to make sure you do. They don't want you thinking deeply. They don't want you focusing on what matters. They want you distracted, anxious, and endlessly consuming. Because that's how they make money. Your fragmented attention is their business model. But here's what they can't take from you. The choice to stop participating. The decision to protect your mind. The courage to be bored and uncomfortable and present. Your brain is the battlefield. And every moment you spend in deep focus, in genuine presence, in uninterrupted thought, is a moment you win. So win. Put the phone down. Close the apps. Sit with silence. And remember what it feels like to actually think. Because the world needs people who can think. Not people who can scroll. This is Clocktron Mindset TV. Your attention is being stolen. Take it back. Starting right now.